This is Volume 3 in Bad Movie Fights versus Good Movie Fights. Sometimes movies can influence games and vice versa. In Volume 1 and 2, we learned that a good fight should have stakes, clarity, and editing that best serves the action. We've also learned about the art of a continuous take when filming a fight scene. Anything with shaky cam is a major no-no. Anything with choppy editing to cover up actors who can't fight is a major no-no. And remember, no gunfights allowed. So, let's do this. Let's start off with a good fight from a seemingly continuous take. Now, this scene from the Netflix TV show Daredevil is from a TV show. And this is all about movie fights. However, let's analyze it anyway. Because when this first hit Netflix back in 2015, it started off with a bang. This scene opened the series off and it just got better and better from here. Now, this scene has many cuts and uses the wonderful concept of fighters getting tired. However, not many know that this scene is hugely inspired by this. This is from the Korean film Old Boy, which was made a whole 12 years earlier. Now, from a technical standpoint, this scene is easier to shoot. Camera on a dolly and the move is left to right. However, there are some really intricate things happening in this shot that are a marvel to watch. First of all, there are no cuts in this shot, whereas Daredevil has quite a few. There's a knife that appears in our protagonist's back that is done expertly. The energy of our performers, whilst maybe exaggerated, is depleted. There are plenty of weapons in this scene that are hurled or swung towards our protagonist, which on set must have been a huge hazard. The scene is chaos and it works well for it. Daredevil is more of a dance move. This scene in Old Boy is absolutely top 10 best fight scenes ever filmed. And it comes from a director who for 99% of his career actually shoots scenes in a far more structured and planned out way, often hitting us with some of the best transitions in cinema history. For a direct comparison, this film was remade back in 2013 by another master of cinema, Spike Lee. It starred Josh Brolin of Thanos fame, and it seems from the outside like Lee decided to keep the same shot in the film but go from right to left, which geometrically, in film language, is completely wrong. Your protagonist should always be going from left to right to show progression of character and of narrative, even in a fight. However, Lee is no novice, so there's a fair chance that he did this on purpose to show the character's confusion. Now, it should be said, as a standalone, this scene is actually pretty good. The weapons making such an impact is rather ridiculous. The original Old Boy had impact shots, but they were fleeting. These impacts are brutal and would end our protagonist's life. And there's even a knife strike. Slightly more brutal than the original, but for some reason has less impact. Now, this film has been hated on by many, so there's no need to discuss it, but one thing that can be discussed is the filmmaking in the scene is top notch. The fighting is not as gritty as the original, but certainly is on par with the Daredevil scene. However, one scene that features the same Daredevil and was going for a similar vibe is the Marvel TV show Echo.
I've been watching them all night. And then you guys show up.
There are two major problems with the scene. The fighting is very poor. The impacts don't feel real and the kicks are pathetic. And the cuts. A cut and another cut. This punch here is very bad as he's waiting for it. All in all, this scene is let down by bad choreography and hidden cuts to maybe mask our protagonist, and by protagonist I mean Echo's lack of fighting skills. It could be because our actress in the scene isn't quite at the level of Charlie Cox, who plays Daredevil. And we're not done with Daredevil just yet. This scene is bad on every level. The fight is slow and almost non-existent. They seem to be play fighting. The music screams mid-2000s techno slop. The camera work is quite simply basic. And what was it with 2000s superhero movies, flirty characters, and kids' playgrounds? It's a weird combination. So we've learned all about some great continuous takes during fight sequences. But how can cinema evolve and change the way they shoot action movies? Well, one recent movie managed to do it.
I need your permission to operate independently.
Permission granted!
Just relax.
So there's a few things happening here. We have the AI controlling our protagonist's fight moves. We have the camera work, which is innovative for a fight sequence.
Oh, look, man, stay down, please. Please don't get up. Please don't.
And we have the Jackie Chan-esque mannerisms, where he's almost apologizing for inflicting damage. And as the narrative progresses and our protagonist gets more confident and cocky.
Oh, I didn't forget about you.
Do not get overconfident, Greg.
As does the fighting, the camera work, and his skill set. A clear example of games influencing movies. He is leveling up, which is maybe the biggest influence for this scene. Which in its own way is also innovative. It does, however, contain plenty of shaky cam, hidden cuts, and of course, guns. But the scene is heavily influenced by video games. It's just one small step away from being a first-person shooter.
If you can hear them, but you can't shoot them,
And another TV show, Arcane, directly influenced by the video game League of Legends, has an incredible scene, which despite being an animation, is very... Now typically when video games influence movie fights, there was a frenetic, all-action and balletic nature to the scene, but occasionally this can go wrong. Now, the logic behind the fights in this film makes perfect sense scientifically.
I was really careful with that stuff. I remember I created a chart, I think I still have it, of what weapons would hurt him and at what level, right? So like small arms fire is like a BB gun, right? And then all the way up to, a cruise missile I said would be like getting hit by a 250-pound linebacker from 8 feet away.
There would be carnage and chaos, and the literal gravity of the situation would be grave. But this is why when people commented and criticized this scene on Volume 2 of the series, because a woman is beating up a man, it really makes no sense. These are all movies. And if you want movies to be overly realistic, you get murky, indistinguishable fights like in Man of Steel. Or you just get this.
4-point scoring system if the rounds wind up even, and the 3 knockdown rule is in effect. Tyson comes out slugging.
He comes out smoking like Marvis's father, Joe. Marvis must move or we're going to be out of here very, very quickly. Uppercut and Marvis is hurt.
Razor is down.
And that is how most movie fights would end if they were being realistic. Because movies are about tension and drama. There is no drama in this. And it's the reason why this scene from the original Oldboy works better than the remake. Not from a technical standpoint, but from a narrative standpoint. The film is better, and therefore we have a connection with the story, and hence the fight has more drama. Which brings us nicely to our last comparisons. Because these fights from The Acolyte, episode 5, are actually very good and quite innovative. The breaking of the lightsabers, the movement. The scenes are quite dark, but still, the fight scenes really work. No! However, this scene from Return of the Jedi is much better.
If you will not turn to the dark side, then perhaps she will.
Maybe not technically, but the emotion and the drama can be felt in the fighting style and in the story. The fight itself tells a story on its own. And that's what a fight has to do. It must tell a story. And why a scrappy fight like this can have way more impact than something more stunning like this. But screw this fight. We all know that there's a better movie fight on a bus in recent history. We'll cover this properly in another video.
I'm all Norse. What the fuck are you saying? Norse is broken. My fucking teeth.
Ah, look, it's our old friend again.
Is it bad? It's bad.
Nobody ever cares about these poor henchmen, do they?
Watch out! Move! Move! Move!
Careful, Austin!
So, which of the fights in Volume 3 do you think were the best? And which bad and good movie fights should I cover in the next video? Let me know in the comments. This has been Bad Movie Fights versus Good Movie Fights, Volume 3.
Watch out!